Tadej Pogacar is the massive favourite for this year's Tour de France. I know, I'm a genius. Not only is he probably the greatest rider of all time, I mean look at these attributes in PCM, unbelievable. But he surely has the best team in the world as well. João Almeida is here, Nils Pollitt, Sivakov, Adam Yates, the list goes on. His team is so strong at UAE Team Emirates. So surely this Tour de France is a foregone conclusion. Pogacar is going to stroll away with this, even when he's competing against the likes of Vingegaard and Visma. But what do you think would happen if we did this? And we forced Tadej Pogacar to ride the entire Tour de France by himself. All of the other teams start with 8 riders, of course, but Tadej Pogacar is riding the Tour de France by himself this year. Meaning he has to go back and get water, he has to survive the sprints, he has to do everything completely by himself. Can he still win the Tour de France? Let's find out. There are no mountains in the first week of the race. It's flat stages, hills and time trials, so I think this is going to be the most challenging for Tadej. But saying that, surviving the mountains and taking time in the mountains without any teammates is going to be so difficult as well. Genuinely, I have no idea how this is going to play out. So good luck Tadej, let's see how he does. So the Tour de France departs from Lille with a stage for the sprinters. Let's see if Tadej survives. And let's see who claims the first maillot jaune. And there he is, Tadej Pogacar in the peloton all by himself in the World Champions jersey. Honestly, this start list looks hilarious. All full teams ready for the Tour de France, and then Pogacar by himself for UAE. Tadej, I am so sorry for doing this to you. No, I'm not really. Here we go then, the sprint is on into Lille. Pogacar just trying to stay safe in the peloton. The sprinters just up the road. You can see the likes of Milan is here, Malir is here, and Philipsen, the 3 favourites. Anyway, under the Flamme Rouge, Philipsen goes, Deli goes as well, but Johnny Milan I think is going to win this. Jonathan Milan wins in Lille, and I think Pogacar survives. 1 stage navigated, 20 to go, Tadej. Milan is the first maillot jaune of this year's Tour de France, but Pogacar finishes safely in 21st place, seemingly surviving that first stage pretty easily. But he is the out-and-out favourite here for stage 2, a punchy finale. Can he attack and take the yellow jersey here? Meaning he'd have to defend that jersey for 19 stages after this one, all by himself. Yeah, that's crazy. Hoo-hoo, and it's a wet, treacherous day for Tadej to survive here. Can he do it? Now, I'm certain normally we would see UAE pacing right now to control for Pogacar, so I was intrigued to see who would do it, and actually, it's Alpecin taking it up on the front, surely, for this man here. Nope, not that man. This man right here, Mathieu van der Poel. But on the true GC days, I'm intrigued to see who is doing the pacing, because I'm pretty sure it won't be UAE Team Emirates. Here we go, it's Primož Roglic attacking, Pogacar tries to react, Evenepoel, Van der Poel, Vauquelin trying to follow, and it's Pogacar forced into closing down Roglic all by himself. 4k to go, it's all back together. Gregoire tries, Vauquelin is going to try as well. Pogacar though in a pretty good position here. There's Hershey, Van der Poel in a good position as well. I don't know who's going to win this. Under the Flamme Rouge though, uphill finale, Van der Poel kicks, Pogacar tries to respond, he has nothing left though, and Mathieu van der Poel is going to win the stage and move into the yellow jersey, with Pogacar finishing only 6th place, no bonus seconds. So no big moves by Pogacar today. Van der Poel moves into the yellow jersey, and in the weirdest result I think I've ever seen on PCM, Bert van Lerberger finishes 3rd on this punchy finish. I mean, how on earth has he done that? Anyway, all the big favourites, Vingegaard, Roglic, Evenepoel and Pogacar still all on the same time. And stage 3 into Dunkirk is 1 for the sprinters again and 1 for Pogacar just to make it through. 5k to go then, another day which Pogacar has survived fairly comfortably so far at least, and this is going to be another mass sprint. Ed Toons delivering Johnny Milan into literally the perfect position. Is he going to have to go early though? Indeed he is. Van Aert on the wheel, Varanskol, Gamay as well, Malir coming very late, Tim Malir flying to the line, and Tim Malir wins stage 3 here in Dunkirk. Meanwhile, Pogacar finishes 21st again like he did on the first sprint stage. But now the hardest stage of this Tour de France so far into Rouen, and Pogacar is the favourite again despite having no teammates. But will that come true? Because surely he'll need to control on these final hills, maybe giving the advantage to his rivals. Okay, we've reached the climbing section section in the final 20k. Couple of attacks taking place and Vingegaard's team really trying to control here. Now we have Tudor trying to set something up. Pogacar though positioning himself so well, even of course without any teammates to help him out. But he is getting forced back a little bit now with 11k to go. Alaphilippe now, Lulu on the attack, Julian Alaphilippe, Van Etveldt, Gregoire trying to follow, and Pogacar a little further back in this group. There he is, maybe about 20th wheel right now. Visma still trying to set something up. If it's for Vingegaard though, he needs to move up right now. The pace slows here with 6k to go, and it's Romain Gregoire, the Frenchman, entering the final hill today with a huge attack. What a move by Gregoire. And you know what, 5k to go, Healy now coming to the fore, Van Etveldt trying to close Gregoire, but I think Gregoire is going to win this one. Pogacar has not tried anything so far in this race, playing it very cautiously indeed. I'm surprised Remco or Vingegaard haven't tried to attack him yet either. Anyway, Healy and Van Etveldt trying to close, but Romain Gregoire is going to win stage 4 and go into the yellow jersey of the Tour de France. What a win for him. And Pogacar just sprints in the group behind Remco Evenepoel and Axel Laurent. Yeah, what a win for the Frenchman, winning a stage at the Tour de France and moving into the yellow jersey. But I must have missed it because Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe and their entire team were dropped today. There must have been a crash for Primož Roglic, 3.5 minutes lost. I was about to say he's the only favourite who's attacked, but of course, he's crashed in week 1. You simply cannot fault the realism of Pro Cycling Manager, can you? But seriously, poor Primož. Anyway, it's time trial time into Cannes, 32 kilometers as well. Now we're going to see the likes of Pogacar, Vingegaard, and of course Remco Evenepoel come to the fore. Pogacar's not going to miss his teammates very much in this one. Jonas Vingegaard is underway, Remco Evenepoel is underway right behind him, and behind those two is of course our guy Tadej Pogacar. I reckon Remco Evenepoel is going to cruise into the yellow jersey today. Let's see if he can do it. But there he is everyone, a Frenchman in the maillot jaune. Remco Evenepoel is 50 seconds clear at the front, 1 minute 19 on Vingegaard. Where does Pogacar go? Second place, what a time. What a time trial that was from Remco Evenepoel, 48 seconds clear of Wout, who actually beat Pogacar by a single second in the end. And that means Remco has 49 seconds on a solo Tadej Pogacar, Vingegaard 1 minute 19, and of course Roglic well further behind. There he is, 34th place on almost 5 minutes. I don't think he's going to win this Tour de France. The next stage though in Normandy, it's a long one, over 200k, punchy finale yet again, and yet again Pogacar is the favourite. He's not really shown that he wants to attack so far in the first week of this race. Will that change here? A very spicy finale with 2 climbs to come in the final 5k. Will the breakaway survive, or will the peloton and the likes of Pogacar attack? Breakaway are caught, it's over for them. Pogacar is right to the front, so is Remco Evenepoel. Here comes Quinn Simmons. No attack for Simmons though, here comes Pogacar. Look at him relaying by himself. Mas being guided up by a teammate, so is Remco on the wheel of Schachmann. Pogacar doing it all by himself into the final kilometre. Surely that's going to cost him. He's on the wheel of Remco, here comes Van der Poel, but Remco Evenepoel is actually going to defeat Tadej Pogacar here on stage 6. 2 stages in a row for Remco. Pogacar could not get it done. For the first time today, I think we saw Tadej Pogacar suffering without having a teammate. Remco was guided up beautifully by Maxi Schachmann in that finale. Pogacar had no one. He was sprinting into that descent and didn't have enough left to beat Remco on the line. So Remco now 53 seconds clear of Pogacar, who jumps to second with those bonus seconds. But now it's time for potentially the hardest climb of the race so far, the Mur de Bretagne. I believe this is the 4th time Pogacar's been the stage favourite. We haven't seen him win yet though. Will that change here today on the Mur de Bretagne? So it's been a pretty easy day so far in the peloton, you can tell, because Cofidis are pacing on the front. Breakaway just 45 seconds ahead. There is the Mur de Bretagne. Look at that gradient. Is this the day we're finally going to see a victory at this Tour de France for Tadej Pogacar? Here we go, they turn straight onto the climb. Pogacar in an awful position here, a terrible position. Van Aert, Van der Poel and Philipsen have gone, and the GC guys are hanging back for now. What is going on? Remco makes his move trying to bridge, but Thibaut Nice is surely going to win on the Mur de Bretagne. After the GC guys look at each other, Thibaut Nice is going to win today, ahead of Van Aert and Van van der Poel. I have no idea what happened, but Pogacar is going to take time somehow on all of the other GC favourites. I do not believe it. So somehow 5 riders take time on the Mur de Bretagne, and Pogacar is the only GC rider among them after Thibaut Nice takes a big win for him. But that means Pogacar drops to 3rd, but now only 34 seconds behind Remco Evenepoel. A big win for him. The sprinters will have their say on stage 8, and just another one for Tadej to survive. 2k to go then. Pogacar going to survive this one comfortably yet again. Mayut's going for the stage, but Milan in a great position in that green jersey. Milan, Merlier and Philipsen, but Johnny Milan wins yet again in that green jersey. He's looking great at this race. Pogacar made it through though, 22nd place, very easy for him. We did have some gaps lower down in the GC, not affecting the main guys though. On to the second sprint stage in a row, and this time we're heading to Châteauroux. By the way, as we progress through these races, I'm watching Pogacar and he doesn't seem to be going back for water at all. So either he's stocking up at the start of the race so he doesn't have to go back to the car, or he's just not very thirsty. I have to say, I can't believe that's true though. Also, I fully expected Pogacar to struggle a little bit at least in these first 10 stages, but he's been cruising. He's constantly in the first 20 wheels of the peloton, and that 81 flat stat has to play a massive role in that for sure. Entering the final 3k then, Pogacar is safe again. Did we have a crash there? We might have done. Let's see though who's going to win this one. This time Milan not in a great position. He finds free air. He goes early. Milan versus Philipsen. Oh my word, what a win by Johnny Milan. He came from nowhere to win that sprint. But for our guy Tadej Pogacar, he's survived this first week fairly comfortably where I thought he would struggle. Still in such a strong position in the GC at 34 seconds. I expect we'll see a GC shake-up today though, because the first big mountains of the race so far, a medium mountain today. This could be chaos. I'm going to try and keep on top of it though, and how is Tadej Pogacar going to play it? And now Roglic has crashed again for Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe. They're having an absolute nightmare here at the Tour de France, and there's crashes all over the road. Now Enric Mas has gone down for Movistar, and crucially for Pogacar, he has remained on his bike for the entirety of the race so far. Anyway, 100k to go. What a stage this is turning into. Sprinters and climbers as well. Mathieu van der Poel is dropped. Mike Woods among the riders dropped. Vlasov is dropped as well. Now we have the likes of Campenaerts gone as well. And we have 50 riders remaining in the peloton. Over 100k to go. So finally we have some kind of control in the peloton. 53 riders here. Van Aert on the front. We have 4 riders in the breakaway, Onley and Paulus among them up the roads. And for now, no one putting any pressure on Tadej Pogacar, riding by himself. And earlier I asked the question, who would be controlling without UAE? Of course, it's Visma taking it up on the front for Vingegaard. But without anyone attacking, Pogacar is under no pressure at all. Is Pogacar about to finally win a stage at this Tour de France? Here we go, 3k to go. Pogacar comes to the front, not even scared of not being in the draft. He comes straight to the fore, pacing his own rhythm. Evenepoel and Vingegaard still in the wheels. And who can hold the tempo of Pogacar? But Jorgensen is there, Roglic and Lipovic there, Evenepoel as well. And here comes Vingegaard. He's had the help of Jorgensen. Can he beat Pogacar? Into the final few hundred meters, Vingegaard, I think, is actually going to beat Tadej Pogacar. Oh my word, Pogacar still yet to win a stage. Vingegaard outsprints him. Roglic 3rd place in a very selective stage. Now for me, this is getting very, very interesting. Because although Pogacar is doing well in the GC, he cannot win any stages. He cannot finish anything off. He's basically riding himself into the finals. The other riders, the other favourites, have teammates to lead them out. Pogacar doesn't have that. And so on a stage, you would say Pogacar surely should win on. Vingegaard defeats him in the end. Still Pogacar now second in the GC, but can he win a stage? And at some point, of course, he's going to have to drop Remco Evenepoel. We've finally had a taste of the mountains then, but now we head to Toulouse for a versatile sprint stage. I mean, every time I check, Pogacar is right at the front. Vingegaard right here too, but he's 3rd wheel in the peloton right now. Unbelievable positioning. I'd be intrigued to try this with a rider with worse flat stat than Pogacar and see if they're as good as positioning as Pogacar is. But Milan doesn't fancy it today. He doesn't fancy it up the road though. Jasper Philipsen, what a position he is in. Lead out by Van der Poel. Girmay is here too. Van Aert too. Who's going to win this one? into Toulouse, Jasper Philipsen at an absolute canter wins stage 11. And yet another day without any problems for Tadej. And over halfway through now, and crucially Tadej Pogacar has yet to crash at this Tour de France. But here we go, we have the first high mountain stage of this year's race and the Autocam finish. And I know you guys remember, Tadej Pogacar dropping on this climb a few years ago. Vingegaard and Visma dropped all of Pogacar's teammates, isolating him, then dropping Pogacar on the Autocam. Pogacar, of course, has no teammates to start with today, so I'm very intrigued to see how this one's gonna go. Here we go, Visma have attacked with Jorgensen, and behind, Tadej Pogacar is closing it himself in the peloton. He does not want Visma having a satellite rider, but Pogacar neutralises that attack for now. So we've had the games from the big teams, numerous satellite riders trying to get up the roads. In the end though, it's only 4 riders with 30 seconds. This is a GC day. And without UAE here, it seems no one knows how to play it. Pogacar just cruising along in the group. He's playing it very cautiously and no one else wants to attack. Here we go though, 3k to go. Finally, Jonas Vingegaard puts in a dig. O'Connor follows and so does Tadej Pogacar. Evenepoel following easily as well, but here we go. Vingegaard has a slight gap. Pogacar has to close this himself and he does so instantly to Vingegaard and comes straight past him into the final kilometre and a half. Remco suffering in the yellow jersey, trying to use his teammates. He's trying to close Vingegaard and they've both now been dropped by Tadej Pogacar, riding alone at this Tour de France, and he's riding alone to stage victory finally atop the Autocam. It took him 12 stages, but finally, Tadej Pogacar has won at the 2025 Tour de France. And the other guys get what they deserve. They led him out today into the final few K, where Pogacar punished them in the end. And I love how well he's managing this GC, because he's now 2 seconds behind. Still not in yellow, so he doesn't need to control any stages by himself. It's up to Remco and Quickstep. Whew, I'm enjoying this race a lot. And if you're enjoying this race as well, make sure you go down and hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Smash that like button down below as well. Really appreciate the support. He's managed his gap in the GC perfectly so far, but I fear this is the day to Periguides that Pogacar moves into the maillot jaune. And to be honest, I hope he does so, because I cannot wait to see how this race develops when he moves into the yellow jersey. Remco has a 2-second lead. Can he hold off Tadej? I don't think so. We saw these 3 set off after each other in the first time trial. They're doing it again here in the second time trial. Remco Evenepoel at the first split. He's second place, same time as Tadej Pogacar, and Vingegaard just ahead of him. Anyway, we're going to learn more at this second split. Vingegaard easily the best time so far. Where is Pogacar? I think he's going to beat him 16 seconds ahead of Jonas Vingegaard. And Remco is going to be losing time to Tadej at this second split. He's 20 seconds down. Tadej is going into the yellow jersey. Vingegaard has passed Carlos Rodriguez on the road. He takes the best time by 25 seconds, but it's going to be snatched away by Tadej Pogacar on the line, 23 seconds ahead. And is this now Remco saying goodbye to the maillot jaune for good at this Tour de France? Let's see. Across the line, 34 seconds. Finally, it has happened. Tadej Pogacar wins another stage, his second in a row, but also he moves into the yellow jersey. And now surely we're going to see complete chaos at this race, because Tadej Pogacar cannot control the peloton by himself. And with the yellow jersey on his shoulders, it's up to him now. So a huge mountain test coming on stage 14, including the Col de Tourmalet. Tadej Pogacar is in the yellow jersey and he has no teammates. What could go wrong? And 7 riders featuring in today's breakaway, to be fair, a pretty strong group. And without UAE Team Emirates to control the gap to the breakaway, now 7.5 minutes, I think this is a breakaway stage. Quickstep have turned up the ante on this climb, and here we go. Remco Evenepoel attacks on the penultimate climb today. What a move by Remco. And now Tadej Pogacar is forced to do the chasing in the descent himself. I don't believe it. I mean, it's not a big gap for Remco. I'd have liked to see him go earlier on that climb, but Pogacar is being left to do the chasing by Visma and the rest of the peloton. Unbelievable. And of course, Pogacar is going to close that gap. There you go. Remco is caught, but that is the first sign of other teams putting Pogacar under real pressure. And the breakaway are officially caught. This is another day for the peloton. Here we go. Enrico Mas on the attack. He's 6 minutes 40 down in the GC. Now Evenepoel goes, and Pogacar this time right on Remco's wheel. Vingegaard a little slower to respond. We now have 8 riders here. and the front two, Pogacar and Remco, stretching clear of everyone now. Vingegaard chasing behind. What a stage here. Vingegaard gets back on, and now Remco Evenepoel is caught out. It's Vingegaard counter-attacking, Enric Mas in the wheel, and Pogacar there, of course. He has the answer to everything right now, and he comes to the front. Oh my word, he's unbeatable. Because his closest challenger, Remco Evenepoel, is caught behind. Vingegaard is now off the wheel. Enric Mas is losing touch, and Tadej Pogacar is going to win yet again. Look at the motor pacing. That doesn't matter though. Tadej Pogacar is going to win a hat-trick at the Tour de France. What a rider. What a stage that was. Probably the best at this Tour de France so far. Remco tried early, Vingegaard tried as well, but they were no match yet again for Tadej Pogacar, who is riding without teammates. Huge gaps on this stage as well further back, now meaning Pogacar has a 1 minute 29 lead and over 2 minutes on Vingegaard. And everyone else further back is completely out of it. Skjelmoser almost 8 minutes behind, but in 4th place. The GC guys, I think will have a break though into Carcassonne. I expect a versatile sprint today, or even a breakaway day. An interesting move now, because on this final real climb of the day, Tobias Harm-Johannesson and Elan van Wilder on the move, so Quickstep and Uno X won't be pacing behind. But sadly, that attack is going to have no chance here today. The peloton bringing them in, 22k to go. They're almost caught already. You know I would have loved to see Tobias win here. Anyway, another comfortable day for Pogacar to survive. He was trying to get to the wheel of Wout van Aert there, but Jonathan Milan goes early. Wout van Aert tries to respond into Carcassonne, and Jonathan Milan, what a sprint that was. The green jersey winning again at this Tour de France, and Tadej Pogacar surviving another day in yellow. Milan now really asserting himself in that green jersey, but no changes in the GC today. I'm expecting a big shake-up though, because today we have Mont Ventoux, one of the most famous climbs at the Tour de France. And the question is, can anyone find a way to beat Tadej Pogacar? But for the life of me, I cannot understand why the breakaway is not winning at this race. I mean, the breakaway is just not allowed clear on any of these stages. Why are Picnic relaying, and why are they not attacking with the likes of Onley to try and get in the breakaway, because they're never going to beat Pogacar from this group? Quite simply, I don't understand. Eventually, Onley did attack. He's with Ben Healy up the road, but only 2 riders. That breakaway has such a little chance. Quickstep don't even need to panic behind. There you go, they're caught even before Mont Ventoux really gets underway, but Vingegaard must be feeling good here. His team on the front early. Here we go, lift off, 10k to go, and Vingegaard has attacks. Remco tries to follow, and no one else can get near them. It's Vingegaard, Pogacar, Remco struggling to hold the wheel, and now it's Pogacar, Vingegaard, and Remco, mano a mano. But they're going to be caught here because they're relaying in the group behind. Pogacar obviously doesn't need to work with Vingegaard, and they are caught by the peloton. Now what happens? Enric Mas attacks with Remco on the move as well. Anyway, Remco is going to lose his 2nd place today to Vingegaard, but it's Roglic, Vingegaard and Pogacar. And now, as always, in the final 2k, Pogacar comes to the fore, and who can get near him? Under the Flamme Rouge, Vingegaard is the only opponent. But he's following, and Vingegaard drops 300 meters to go. Pogacar wins 4 of the last 5 stages. He wins atop Ventoux. I don't believe it. This man is simply unbeatable. It doesn't matter if he has teammates or not. Vingegaard he tried everything today, but he loses more time. The gap to Pogacar now 2 minutes 24. Remco sliding to 3 minutes 30. With Pogacar also now moving into the polka dot jersey. He's going to do it all, and all by himself. Well, a sprint stage to navigate for Pogacar today into Valence. Remember, he's not crashed yet at this race. Surely it has to happen at some point. Well, let's see if he can survive today's stage. And 20k to go. It's continued to be a really difficult sprint stage here. Riders dropping from the group. Only 80 riders left, and it's dropping still. But our man Pogacar for now staying out of trouble, as always. So into the final 3k, Pogacar still here, positioned again absolutely perfectly. There's one favourite for the day, and that is Johnny Milan, but he's way too far back for now. Is he going to miss out here? And is Pogacar going to get involved in the sprint? 1.5k to go. Philipsen with a great lead out there by Caden Groves. Pogacar going to get a top 10 here for sure. Philipsen challenged by Groenewegen, but Jasper Philipsen wins, and Pogacar finishes 5th place ahead of the green jersey Jonathan Milan on a sprint stage. Maybe Pogacar still believes he can beat Jonathan Milan in the green jersey. No, but seriously, I think it's too big a gap even for Pogacar. No changes in the GC today. Now we head into the final 2 mountain stages of this Tour de France. The Col de la Madeleine leads into the Col de la Loze, a climb which Pogacar has lost minutes to Vingegaard on before. Well, we do have a breakaway, and a dangerous breakaway at that, because Matteo Jorgensen is up the road for Visma. They've put a rider up the road for Vingegaard, of course, something Pogacar cannot do. And that gap is touching 7 minutes as we cross the first HC category climb today. Oh my word, it's happened! Oh my word, it's happened! Tadej Pogacar has crashed! He's crashed, and he continues! Oh my word! It had to happen at some point, and Pogacar has crashed in the yellow jersey. He's alone now. And descending towards the foot of the Col de la Madeleine, you can see the gap he has to make up to the peloton. There they are up the road, and Pogacar some way further back on the road. Can he make it? I cannot believe it. It's happened. And you already know that Visma are pacing in this descent in the peloton. Look at this. He's having to do it all alone. The gap is not coming down either. It's still 2 minutes to the peloton. That's to the front of the group though. Can he get back to the back of the peloton? They're right there. Here we go then, coming to the foot of the Col de la Madeleine. Pogacar is panicking. He's going all out, and he is going to get back to the very back of this group. Just about in time, and Visma not even really pacing in the front. What are they doing? Visma, very respectful of the yellow jersey there. Visma do still have Jorgensen up the road as a satellite rider, but I can't believe they didn't push Pogacar out the back when they could. And as has often been the case at this Tour de France, it's Remco Evenepoel and Soudal Quickstep solving the problem of the breakaway for Pogacar. They're relaying on the front. Why not leave it up to Pogacar? Anyway, over 20k of climbing remaining right now, and 23 riders are all that remain in the peloton. Pogacar being swarmed by Visma riders behind. And Pogacar can now see 5 Visma riders right ahead of him in this peloton. Unbelievable. Here we go, attacks. But Pogacar staying put with Jonas Vingegaard. That is crazy. Pogacar not panicking about these guys. I mean, it's sensible. He doesn't need to worry about these guys, even Remco Evenepoel. So now Matteo Jorgensen flicking through Tadej Pogacar, and Pogacar happy to relay in this group, now getting countered by Jonas Vingegaard, trying to catch out Pogacar, getting into the wheel of Buitrago and Roglic, but Pogacar, as always, on Vingegaard's wheel. These guys are so far ahead of everyone else on the road right now. Great climb by Roglic to be here, but Pogacar able to match Vingegaard's. Vingegaard goes again, and Roglic is gone, but Pogacar can follow. Oh my word, is Pogacar cracking? Is he in trouble? Is he in trouble after that crash? Vingegaard continues, but Pogacar can follow for now, until he can't. And for the first time at this Tour de France, Tadej Pogacar has cracked. There's only 1k to go. Vingegaard is not going to go into yellow, but he's got 40 seconds. It's increasing more. What a climb by Jonas Vingegaard. He's going to put a minute or more into Pogacar, who's going to lose to Roglic as well. What a day on Col de la Loze. This Tour de France is still on. Oh my word, I do not believe what we've just seen. I officially announced the fight for the yellow jersey back on 1 minute 5 is the gap, plus the 10 to 4 bonus seconds that Vingegaard gains. So 1 minute 11 he gains today, making the gap 1 minute 13 now in the GC with one mountain stage left. Was it the crash that cost Pogacar chasing in the descent towards the foot of the Madeleine? I'm not sure, or maybe he just didn't have it today. Roglic rises to 4th after a great day, but I'm so excited now. These two also, by the way, fighting for the KOM jersey. Here it is then, the decisive day at this Tour de France. We have plenty of climbs heading to Le Plan. Will Pogacar drop again? Will he crash again? And can Jonas Vingegaard take the yellow jersey? Let's find out. So it's been a quick start to this stage. Lots of riders dropped already, but no attacks by Visma riders so far. They're happy to control in the peloton today and use their strength in the peloton against Pogacar. Look at this perspective from Vingegaard's view as Campenaerts drops away. He still has 5 teammates ahead of him with Tadej Pogacar, his prey just ahead. Will he attack on the colder prey though? That is the question. I don't think so. I think he'll leave it for Le Plan. And this time, no risk by Pogacar in the descent. He's literally right at the front of this group. Here it is then, mano a mano, 19k. Le Plan begins, 7.3%. It's Pogacar versus Vingegaard for this Tour de France. Can Vingegaard beat a teamless, a teammateless Tadej Pogacar? Here we go, and Pogacar's caught off the wheel. Vingegaard has some space, he has some breathing room, but Pogacar attacks straight up to the Dane's wheel. Oh boy, this is so tense, look at them, there goes Vingegaard again, and Pogacar straight on the wheel again, as they slice through the breakaway. It's Pogacar and Vingegaard, no one else can follow today. What a race. Oh, but Pogacar goes over the top. Pogacar goes over the top. Can Vingegaard get back to the wheel? Vingegaard has tried, but the gap's stabilising at 30 seconds. I think Pogacar has this. I think Pogacar is going to all but confirm this Tour de France today. 1k to go for Vingegaard. The gap opening up ever so slightly more. Pogacar wins on Le Plan. His 5th stage at this Tour de France. And he's all but confirms the yellow jersey here. I can hardly believe it. Pogacar is going to, I think, win this Tour de France despite having no teammates. Vingegaard behind today, almost 2 minutes behind in the GC. Is that game over? Well, one more stage before Champs-Élysées, a hilly stage today. I can't see Pogacar losing 2 minutes, bar a disaster. Well, 6k to go. We are seeing attacks here in the finale of this stage. Aaron Brew has attacks, but Remco Evenepoel, 83 flat is clear. Surely there's no catching him with 4k to go. Well, let's see. Here comes Philipsen. Here comes Milan. There's Pogacar. Remco Evenepoel trying to hold on. I think it's going to be an epic solo win by Remco Evenepoel, just holding off Jasper Philipsen as Pogacar essentially confirms the yellow jersey today. Fun finale to that one, with actually 30 seconds separating the Pogacar group and the Vingegaard group further back, but it doesn't matter. Pogacar is gonna win the Tour de France. Anyway, on to Champs-Élysées. It's Milan versus Philipsen for the green jersey today. Absolutely dreadful day here in Paris, but Pogacar, I don't believe it, guys. He's actually going to do it. He's going to win the Tour de France despite not having a single domestique to help him. So let me know down in the comments, guys, if Pogacar had to do this in real life, could he win the Tour de France? He's done it in PCM. I'd love to know what you think. Could he do it in real life as well? And with the green jersey so close, if Milan or Philipsen win this stage, they will win the green jersey over the other. Let's see how it ends. It's Philipsen on the wheel of Milan right now, getting a lead out. Philipsen gets the jump. Milan is nowhere. If Philipsen holds on, he wins green. But here comes Pippo Ganna. Jasper Philipsen is going to steal the green jersey from Milan on Champs-Élysées. But we don't care about that. Pogacar wins the yellow jersey. I can't believe it, but Pogacar is going to win the yellow jersey over 2 minutes clear of Vingegaard in the end. I'd love to know what you think, guys. Could he do this in real life as well? For me, I think if this happened in real life, the likes of Visma and Quickstep, they'd realise Pogacar is riding by himself and simply be able to capitalise on that a lot better than they did in this playthrough. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Epic fight for green, by the way, with Philipsen taking it on the final day by winning on Champs-Élysées. Pogacar also winning the KOM jersey. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed this experiment type video. If you did, let me know in the comments below if you want to see more of these. Smash a like on the video if you enjoyed, as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.